I am here at the beautiful Creek's Edge Winery. Real Estate Uncorked, where I marry my love of our wonderful Virginia wine industry with my love of all things real estate. Hi, I'm Ashleigh Wehmeyer, and I would like to welcome you to another episode of Real Estate Uncorked. We are here at Creek's Edge Winery in Lovettsville. I am here with Ian Waite from McLean Mortgage, who's going to talk to us about how to make yourself competitive in our DC market when you're up against multiple offers trying to buy a house. And I am super excited to be joined by the very knowledgeable Alex Jeffries, who is the operations manager here at Creek's Edge Winery. He's going to tell us a little bit about Creek's Edge, and he's going to pour and talk to us about some wonderful wine. I don't know if you can hear some of this clinking and clanking going on in the background, but one of the things that I love about Creek's Edge is they have a full-on restaurant here. They have flatbread sandwiches, salads, great appetizers.
Eat some seafood.
Eat some seafood. Yeah, I mean, they have seafood,
Yeah.
chocolate on the way out. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be having for lunch today?
For lunch today, so we're pairing our pasta primavera, which you actually get a choice of either cream sauce or marinara. We're going marinara to pair it with cab franc today, and we've added shrimp to this one.
It's going to be delicious. I haven't tasted it yet. Before we sample this delicious lunch, we want to try one of the best wines. This is one of our favorites, the Estate Cabernet Franc. So can you tell us a little bit about your Cab Franc and pour for us so we can all taste?
Yeah, our cab franc is pretty unique. Again, it's 100% estate.
What does that mean when you go to a winery and it says it's an estate?
All of the grapes were grown here on our farm for
Awesome.
this. What's really special about this one is the vines are only 3 years old, and most winemakers don't use grapes until the vines are 4 years old. The winemaker took a little risk pulling the grapes early, and it really paid off. They made a really nice, strong Cab Franc. We actually took gold at the Virginia Governor's Cup.
Congratulations.
So yeah, this Cab Franc is going to have really nice pepper notes to it, nice earthy tones, a little bit of berry on the nose, a little bit tighter in the tannins.
That's nice.
That's wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about how Creek's Edge got their start?
The owner, Ted Durden, bought the land and started growing grapes and was going to sell them, but decided he wanted to leave something for his children. So he decided to build a winery on it. Not only did Ted design and build the winery, but his kids joined in building and their friends. So it's a big family operation.
I think that is so cool.
How long has the winery been here?
The winery has been open for 6 years. The grapes went in a few years before that.
Yeah, when I came and I reconned, because that's the kind of person I am, I felt I needed to come here and try the wine first and be able to really bring you good stuff. And Alex was telling me a little bit about how this winery started, the story of how it was built. It is gorgeous. And I think you talked about how it was framed out by Amish. Is that what you had said?
So all the dark wood in here was framed out by the Amish. It's true wood peg in the boards. There's no metal.
Something else that I read, I was doing a little research, and I had read that you all were really into using local artisans and getting your materials locally.
Yep.
Is that true?
Local source, wood, stone, all of that.
It's just gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful wineries I've been
It really
to.
is gorgeous. Looks like a great venue for the children. I see cornhole, very family friendly.
Yeah, very.
If somebody comes out here for a wine tasting, how much is it? And I think there are two options, right? Can
Yeah,
you tell us
so
about what they can taste?
We have two options. One is our Creek tasting, which is 6 wines for $8. And our large tasting is our Stone Wall, where you get a tasting of all the wines we have for $14. And then we have 2 hidden tastings, which we can do an all white or an all red for $10.
Very very nice. Everybody likes the, special, nobody knows about
Yeah.
tastings.
Do you have any frequent buyer programs or a
We
club?
do have we call it our Vintners Club. We charge the clients quarterly for 3 bottles of wine, which they get 10% on all their bottles, discount 15% on all their cases. And then we do 2 open house parties a year where they get 20% off on their cases.
I think that's a great deal. I love it. I love it. Well, thanks, and we're going to try this food. So, Ian, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I think it's important to talk about the competitiveness that we're experiencing right now in the DC metropolitan area and the importance of strong pre-approval and lender, and even more importantly, a strong realtor like you.
I'll drink to that. And we're going to talk some real estate with one of my trusted lenders, Ian Waite from McLean Mortgage. Ian had great advice to share with us today for our buyers. So Ian, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm Ian Waite with McLean Mortgage. Been with McLean for about 5 years now. Been in the mortgage business for about 8. Really proud of McLean Mortgage. We're the #1 independent mortgage lender in this area. Number 4 out of all the big guys. There's many times when we hear, your offer was accepted because McLean Mortgage is the lender. What that is that's a local lender. The realtors know it. There's certain aspects where when you come in with an online lender, they're not available on the weekends, at nights. Real estate happens on the weekends and at nights.
I have submitted offers at midnight, and I have been able to call someone like Ian and to be able to say, Ian, I need pre-approval letters. So one of the things I think that's great about Ian is he has a lot of ideas about how you can be more competitive and beat out other offers when you're in a multiple offer situation, as we often are in our DC market. Ian, can you just tell us some of your tried and true tricks of the trade and thoughts about how you make your clients, who are also often my clients, more competitive?
Definitely. My name is Ian Waite, and my tagline is why wait to get approved. And I say that for a reason, because a lot of times buyers will enter the market and reach out to a realtor like Ashleigh and ask to go see houses. Well, you really put yourself at a disadvantage in a competitive market like this. There's multiple contingencies throughout the process that can be waived or reduced in order to make your offer seem stronger.
It's not just about price all the time.
It's not
coming
just
in
about
with the highest price.
You want to get that client ready, and then what I do as part of getting them ready is talking about the competitiveness of the DC metropolitan area and what the market means right now. You want to get approved early, you want to put your best foot forward, and talk about ways to make your offer stronger.
Sometimes when you get into these multiple offer situations, you have people using escalation clauses, so they're going 10, 20, 30, sometimes 50,000 or more over list price. And you start to get worried that when the appraiser comes in, if the home doesn't appraise at that sales price, the negotiation opens up all over again and the deal can go down the toilet. You can waive that appraisal contingency for whatever reason. And we've got some tricks of the trade. We're not going to share all of them with you, only because we don't want buyers who are competing with you taking our ideas and using them against you. It's no good. What it really is about when you're dealing with things more than price and you're dealing with other terms is reducing the risk to the seller. The seller wants to know if they're taking their house off the market and they're going under contract with you, that you're going to go to settlement. And so sometimes a seller will take an offer that is less than the highest priced offer because they feel like they're going to go all the way to settlement, and it offers fewer risks, like in home inspection or appraisal, for the deal to fall apart or for them to have to come down in their price should they run into some repairs or an appraisal issues. What does it really mean, and what contingencies can be waived if you go through the process of getting everything, all your documents to your lender?
Companies call it different things. At McLean Mortgage, we call it loan first. We'll fully underwrite a file before they even find a property. And it's a really strong tool for those self-employed, those people that have troubled files, those people that aren't sure if it's going to be good. So you want to get everything looked at beforehand. Let me talk a little bit about the pre-approval process. Last year, a client came to me and had started with an online lender, and the realtor had told him to come talk to me. They didn't qualify for a house at all. They had a ratified contract with an earnest money deposit of a significant amount of money, and they didn't qualify to buy a house.
Which is heartbreaking. Honestly, it's heartbreaking.
So first off, I like to get people pre-approved as soon as possible. Doesn't matter if you're buying today, tomorrow, or in 10 years from now. As long as you understand the process, you're going to be as ready as you can be when it comes. That being said, my goal for everyone is to spend the least amount of money to have the lowest comfortable monthly payment. The driving portion of that statement is the monthly payment. You don't live in a rate, you don't live in a price of a house, you live in a monthly payment. So when people come and see me, or we do virtual meetings online, whatever it is, we figure out how do we get to that monthly payment. Then when they go out with you, they can make adjustments to either their budget, to their expectations, or they're in a perfect harmonious relationship. The problem that always occurs is when people wait and then they call me and they say, I don't have 20% or I don't have 10%. You don't need 20% to buy a house. It's a common misconception, and obviously you don't want any extra added fees, but learn about it first. If you learn about it, it's going to take the fear away from it, and that way when you are ready, you can jump in fee first.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to talk a little bit today about discount realtors, discount loan officers, and the ramifications that can happen when you so choose. Last year, I had a transaction, and the buyer came to me and they were getting a pretty good deal on a property. We knew it was a good deal, and we ordered, everything was, cookie cutter, ready to go. We ordered appraisal. Appraisal came in $55,000 above asking price. Now, that's awesome. They got a great deal on the property.
For the buyer.
For the buyer. It's awesome for the buyer. Fast forward the story a little bit, I find out that the sellers were working with a discounted agent, and they did so to save a few dollars, but it cost them $55,000.
When Ian told me this story, I was just sick to my stomach for that seller. One of the biggest reasons why I was sick to my stomach is because that seller's never going to know. They will continue to think they got a great deal because they saved $10,000 or so on commission, and they will never know that they left, it's math, so what's 55 minus 10? $45,000 on the table. It's one of the first questions I ask when somebody comes to me and says they want to see properties is, are you pre-approved? Because if you're going out and looking at houses that are way out of your price range, then everything in your price range looks very sad. You also might be surprised, and you might actually be able to qualify for more than you realize and be able to afford something that's even better for your family. Well, Ian, I really appreciate you coming out and sampling some wine, which is probably the best part.
It is not the best part. The best part is the company with Ashleigh. She knows that. I don't mind the wine.
I thought you were saying the best part is all the great information our viewers are getting about
yes,
loans.
That's what I meant to say.
That's very important. But I do appreciate you being here. I'm not bringing you just anyone, not just any little fish, big fish.